Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. First of all, good job to everyone. Presentations so far have been great. Okay, we're gonna start with just outlining really quick the encountered issues by Osram so far, which have been that there has no consistent product demand within the region because people still don't know if projects actually. Do you guys hear me, like in the back? Okay, awesome. If the product is any good for constant use. The second thing is financing and affordability, accessibility, and awareness and education. Well, we're going to outline all these points throughout the presentation, but as you can imagine, throughout the case, it has been a great challenge to meet all of those issues. Just a quick word on the demographics. As you know, Kenya has some of the regions in Kenya have a high density population where it is more feasible to open OHUBs. Right now, there is some solutions. You have off-grid solutions which are very costly for the population, or on-grid solutions which are too expensive for Kenyans to sustain. You have communities that are too far away from the actual OHUBs, so there's no way for them to commute to the places and to reach the recharge stations that they need. So we came up with the 4 A's. The 4 A's are quite similar to the 5 P's, which you probably know in marketing. The 4 A's are availability, accessibility, awareness, and affordability. So as you know, availability is a big issue in Kenya because there's only 3 OHUBs. So the majority of the Kenya population don't have access to the OHUBs. A second issue is the location of the OHUBs, which is only on the lake. So a lot of people from the inside of the country don't have access to the OHUBs. The third one is awareness. A lot of people in Kenya don't even know about Osram or the OHUBs in general, so they need to be educated in order to know what they actually do and what the benefits are to, join them or to use their product in general. The last thing is affordability. So even the people who do know about the products and the benefits, often they don't know, or they just simply can't afford it. So we came up with financing a solution that basically lays out. I'm going to leave the microphone out just to illustrate. So basically you have the OHUB, which is the main point of contact for customers right now. So we were suggesting that it would be a better solution to create so-called O-poles, which we come back later, how exactly they work. So basically what we say is OHUBs would loan the money to the villages or to people who would be willing to take the business risk to open such a O-pole. And basically, since Osram has to take the capital expense anyways, I mean, they have to, let's say, invest 700, whatever it might be, 700,000, 10,000, 20,000, they have to do the capital expense in order to build it. So we thought, well, if they have to do the capital expense in the first place, they might as well invest it. They do a micro-financing solution, in which they basically donate or put the O-pole in a location where people take care of it. They pay royalties in order for Osram to receive the initial investment. I mean, you could call it interest, we call it royalties. It's a base rate in whichever case you call it. And basically it works as a franchise solution. Just as in our world we have McDonald's and Subway and Burger King. You basically franchise the product or the location. And at the same time the O-pole is used as collateral in case the people who engage in this transaction can't afford the loan and default. So by allowing the community to take the revenues from the O-poles, which is the major revenue generating activity what they do, we would charge them a performance-based fee. So whatever revenue they receive, we would take a small percentage fee in order to make it worth our while and to create a sustainable solution, not only for the community but also for Osram as a company. Also, we would donate a free lifetime engineering service guarantee. What do we mean by that? Well, of course we will need to educate the people on site to take care of the basic repairments on site, but if there's anything wrong with the units, for example the solar panels in general, Osram would ensure that there is a person who comes on site and actually does the repairs that are needed to do for the continuation of the service. And as a last thing, we would use the human capital available on site. So obviously, if you outsource it to people that are local, in certain communities, they would also hire local people. So we would source on that as well. So now we're going to accessibility. Well, franchising all, the Opal stations is a very major thing, because if you think about it right now, the O-hubs are very limited in where they are. So Opals can reach a much, much, much greater audience in terms of numbers. So a central strategic position where you can also create synergies with schools and hospitals, where let's say you place an Opal right next to a school or hospital, or maybe both. People know where they have to go already. They need to source energy just the same as individuals do. You can create synergies where you actually cut costs and also maybe create revenue at the same time. And the last point being easy access, where you say, well, people had to walk, let's say, 20 miles, 30 miles to get their O-box charged. Well, now they have an easy access point. They don't have to walk as far. They save time. They come back to the local point, charge their O-box, and go back. I mean, time is money, as we all know. Maybe not as much in the developing world as it is here, but it's an issue coming. So to make it more visual, we have basically the 3 O-hubs that are in operation right now are at the lake. And each of the orange points, orange dots that you see, are 2 to 3 O-hubs that we would plan to build in the high population density areas. And all the orange surroundings that you see is the area where we would place the Opal stations. So we would achieve a much wider impact on the whole country rather than just like certain local stations where you just have a minimal impact. I mean, if you compare the impact of 3 local hubs here with the impact of a much wider range of hubs or poles, you see how economies of scale will work in our favor. So to the Opal itself, I mean, a lot of people obviously probably thought by now, like, how is it going to work? They're going to be much smaller in size, so easier to operate, less expensive to build. Instead of 42 solar panels that you have on top, you only have 12. Of course, you can charge less batteries, charge less cell phones, create less clean water. But I mean, if you think about it, in the case study it says they have problems with utilizing all their resources. So one of the major issues is like utilizing 80% in order to make it profitable or sustainable. So in the case of building Opals, it's much easier to utilize 100%, and therefore make it sustainable. You have a lower investment, you have a higher capacity of coverage, broader distribution, just as you saw on the map before. Maintenance to the O-hubs through franchise, because the O-hubs will still be operated by Osram, and they will also supply the maintenance service. And the revenues are being generated by royalty fees and performance payments. So you have the triple bottom line saved. You have sustainability, environmentally, socially, and financially. In terms of partnerships, Osram has already partnerships with quite some organizations in Kenya. So you have existing partners with REAP, Religious Education and Environmental Program. So there would be where we would try to create synergies in terms of schools. Also, you have existing partnership with Nokia, where you can charge your cell phones. So by furthering this partnership, you can also increase the volume of customers. And establishing new partnerships with schools and NGOs in the region. So you could partner them with Red Cross, UNICEF, Habitat for Humanity, and solve a lot of the issues that are current to not only the challenge of changing the environmental impact, but also the social impact as well. In terms of education, it is very important to change the behavior of people in general, because you have to educate them about the health-related issues with using kerosene. I mean, as you know, kerosene usage in Kenya is quite big, and the market in general amounts to $50 billion US. So the market share that is supposed to be gained is pretty big. So you have to educate the people about what needs to be changed in order to, make the living standards more ecological, basically. Also, by educating the people, you will see that they will learn that the environmental impact by using kerosene is much greater than using, for example, Ostrom's batteries or O-boxes, because the carbon footprint, as you all know, as a kind of catchphrase, is much less or much smaller. So how are we going to advertise this? One of the really important questions that our jury had asked, but we didn't have time to further explain, was we suppose the O car. So what is the O car? It sounds kind of catchy as well because it's the old phrase.
Time is up.